The body loves order because God created the body. And there's an order to everything that God has done. The egg did not come before the chicken, right? Because the chicken had to lay the egg. We are working backwards in our health many, many times. You can't put something into a chaotic system and expect the body to know what to do with it. Your body needs so many things day to day that are so simple, but they are often missed for extremes. And you are showing up for everyone else. But somewhere along the way, you left yourself out and put your health on the back burner. The woman who takes care of everyone else needs someone in her corner too. Hey, I'm Cher, a certified holistic nutritionist, Christ follower, wife, and mom. And I created this podcast for you. Style and Stewardship is for the Christian woman who is done surviving her days and ready to steward her health legacy on purpose with real food built for the season of life that you're in. This is lifestyle stewardship for the woman who wants to do well, be well, and hear well done. I'm so glad you're here. So I'm always using a house analogy because I feel like we all can kind of understand the building process, that the foundation has to happen. And before the foundation even happens, there has to be level ground. There has to be some sort of balance even before, if it's a concrete slab or if it is a different foundation that's put down, it still requires something to happen even before the foundation. They have to figure out how big the house is going to be. And according to the blueprints, they are going to structure the structure based on what has to happen first. They have to determine how big the foundation is even going to be. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because there are steps before the steps. We can't start in the middle and expect things to be in balance. We have to start with what the body needs and where it is. If we don't do that, what we're doing many times is causing more imbalance in the body because it's something that the body is not ready to support. So healing needs support, believe it or not. So it's not just the thing that you're doing that's going to support your healing. It's the things that you're doing before you do anything. So let's go back to the house analogy. If there are structural issues, or let's start with walls, all right? We've laid the foundation. All of those things are there. But now something has happened, something has gone awry. Maybe there was an electrical issue. We can think of this as maybe a nerve issue or an autoimmune issue or something like that. So in order, we can't just paint the wall. There's a hole in the wall. We can't just paint over that. We can't just spackle that. We have to make sure that what's behind the wall didn't cause the hole to be there. And then we need to work backwards and say, okay, this is how things are supposed to function. What went wrong here? Why is this hole here in this wall? I don't know why I said hole, but I couldn't think of anything else. But there's a hole in this wall. And it's like, well, what happened for the hole to get there, right? A root cause, something underlying that was going on that got us to the place that we're in right now. So this could be lifestyle factors. This could be a time of a really stressful event because our emotions are going to impact our health. It's going to impact our gut health and all of those things. It's going to impact our sleep, which is going to impact our health. All of these things, since God made one body, right? You have one body. Everything is connected. I don't care how many specialists you go to. It doesn't matter if your family doctor sent you to a gastroenterologist. It doesn't matter if your gastroenterologist sent you to a dermatologist. It doesn't matter if your dermatologist then sent you to a neurologist. Your body is one, right? So all of these things are going to impact everything else. And if we are not familiar with how body systems work, even if you don't understand the anatomy and physiology of all those things, you still know when something's off in your body. And I say this all the time, you are the most knowledgeable about your body. We just haven't been trained to understand how the body's working. But we all know when something is just not right. When you wake up and you just don't feel right. When something's going on in your stomach and you just don't feel right. Okay. So let's get back to that hole in the wall. It didn't just happen. It happened over time. Healing is the same way. It won't just happen. It'll happen over time. And yes, one day you will wake up and you're like, hey, I just realized that that issue isn't persisting. I just realized that I don't feel bad anymore. I used to wake up and feel achy, and now I don't feel achy anymore. I used to wake up and feel like I could take 5 more hours of sleep even after 8 hours, and I don't feel like that. I actually feel energized. These things happen over time, little by little, because the foundation is put there. We peel back the wall and we see what went awry, what went off the rails, what changed, what shifted to this place where we have this hole in the wall. But before healing can happen, something comes first, and that is the data from your body. What is the electrician that's going to come in and that's going to suggest going behind this wall, going behind the insulation, however that works. I forget which comes first. I think it's like sheetrock. Behind that's going to be your insulation, and then behind that's going to be your electrical. I don't know. I don't build houses, but I believe that's the way it goes. But there's going to be layers, right? And when people get frustrated because they're not healing, because they've tried some sort of protocol and they've done all these things to get them to this outcome that they're after, and they're frustrated, many times it is because there was something that was missed in the layering of even getting back to the foundations and making sure that the ground was level first, and that we even knew how much ground we were trying to cover. Those are important, and this does take an approach that looks at the whole picture in order to understand it. So testing is super valuable, because you might be working against yourself, and unbeknownst to you, right? You don't even know that, because you might be working on putting in tile when it's like, okay, but the wall, what's going on behind the wall hasn't been dealt with yet. So you can put up this beautiful tile and it can look great for a moment. It can look great for maybe even a year. And then as the house is lived in, now there starts to be some issues. Maybe there's buckling in the wall. Maybe there's a crack in one of the tiles. Maybe the grout looks like it's kind of coming apart somehow. And you're like, what is happening? This is not just regular settling in a house. This is a big gap. Something is off somewhere. So our bodies are no different. They are going to show up with some sort of issue in an area that might not even be where the issue started from. That's why it's important to have the data from your body. When I say data, all I'm saying is what your lifestyle is like, the inputs that you have in your body, in your diet, in your health, in your wellness practices. When I say wellness practices, it's just as simple as, what are you eating? How are you sleeping? What are you drinking? What season of life are you in? And then we look at things like blood work. What is happening here? Are we in a optimal range, or are we in this conventional range that is only looking for disease? When you go to the doctor, you get labs done, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for disease. If they don't see a disease, a full-blown disease, you're quote unquote normal. You're quote unquote fine. Normal in the population and in the health crisis that we are in this country. I can't speak for any other country, but in the US, we're not doing well if we're normal, right? Normal should not be the standard. Optimal for your specific body should be. And that's not going to look like the range that you're going to get from your doctor that's going to say you're fine. You're fine in the sense that you don't have a full-blown disease, but it does not mean that you're not cresting up to that. And it does not mean that a process is not currently happening in the body. I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose or interpret any of that. But looking at the data from your body, we can see if you're in an optimal range or not. And we can see if there are things that we can help the body with, right? Making sure that the foundation is level to begin with before we start pouring concrete, or before we start just spackling a hole and putting the tile up anyways. We need to peel back the layers and see what it means for you to be healthy uniquely. And this is personalized, because you could have two women that are in same age and in completely different seasons, completely different stress loads, completely different lifestyles. Supporting our body takes consideration. We need to consider so many factors, but they're just our regular life. It's hard to look at that sometimes we're just too close to things to see it, And when we are putting all of these pieces together, it really makes all of the difference, because now it's like Okay. You get into that house and there are things everywhere, right? You just moved in. There are boxes that are not labeled. So the first thing that we have to do is figure out what's in these boxes so that we can properly label them and put them where they need to go. The body loves order because God created the body. And there's an order to everything that God has done. The egg did not come before the chicken, right? Because the chicken had to lay the egg. We are working backwards in our health many, many times. And we think, oh, I'll just go on this diet. Oh, I'll just do this extreme. Oh, I'll do this. And it's like your foundations aren't there, which is why they're never sustainable because they were not created for you. And maybe you'll drop some weight, but you don't even know the composition of the weight that you're dropping. It could be water weight. It could be muscle mass, which we do not want to lose, especially as we are getting older. Ladies, we don't want to do that because now fat will accumulate all the more, which is why people are losing weight and then gaining it back more rapidly because you didn't lose the composition that you thought you were losing. You weren't losing fat. Maybe a little bit here and there. So that is a different topic and a different conversation. But the focus of this is healing takes time. And anyone who is telling you that there's going to be a microwave fix, quote unquote, for the thing that you are feeling and dealing with in your health is lying to you. Anyone that tells you is all you have to do is take this probiotic. Probiotics are amazing. They may not work for you if the ground is not level. You can't put something into a chaotic system and expect the body to know what to do with it. It's not even in a place where it's balanced. Until those foundations are there, many of the things that people are trying to do don't work because they can't work yet, because it would be a chaotic situation to pour a foundation, put up walls, and then have zero idea, and then have to go back in and take the walls down and put pipes in, or take the walls down and put electrical in. There's an order, and it's not about being perfect or doing everything right or anything like that. It's about what data is coming from your body to direct us in its full picture, right? In the way that we should be helping the body to do what God created it to do. And I believe that God created the body to heal. If we get a cut, we see this process. We see the body sending these chemicals. We don't see them with our eyes, but we are seeing these processes happen. The next day you wake up and you have a scab. The body has blood clotting factors using vitamin K that are going to cause the blood to stop just pouring out, and it's going to clot it up to protect that area. So we can see physically, literally, that the body is healing. The body is so miraculous, and God has created such a miracle in our bodies. And I mean, I'm always in awe. The more that I learn about the human body, the more I know that we'll never know it all. We have finite minds, but I'm so in awe of God's creation. And some of you may be in your bodies right now and you're like, I don't feel like a miracle. I feel like I need a miracle to happen. I feel like I need a shift to happen. And I'm telling you that is possible. It just takes time and it takes effort, but it takes effort in the right areas, from foundations to the data points that your body is producing, so that we know where to start, what your body is saying that it needs through signs and things like symptoms, because this is your body's way of telling you, hey, something is off, something is wrong, and something can be put back into balance. But this doesn't mean you're throwing pills at yourself. This does not mean that you're getting other things done. These things don't provide health, especially if the body that has never been given the proper foundations. We haven't been taught this. This is not your fault. Like, the things that I learned, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my grandmother, who is no longer with us. She was from the mindset that she went to the doctor and the doctor would tell her what to do. Well, go to the doctor, especially if something's wrong in your body, go and get blood work done and all the things. Absolutely go to the doctor. I did an entire episode on the difference between conventional and holistic and all of that. Go to the doctor, because we need both, right? But what the doctor is doing may not be what you're expecting. She went to the doctor and she thought she was going to get a diet plan. She went to the doctor and she thought that her doctor understood nutrition. She went to the doctor, and so my point is, going to the doctor is one aspect of your health, but would you take your car to the detail shop if it needed engine work? No. There are different professionals that do different things and have different tools in their tool belt and have different perspectives. And she was from the old school where you went to the doctor and they told you what to do with your health overall. Well, that's not necessarily all that you need. And that's a different conversation. You can listen to the other episode that I did so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from with that. I love doctors. I'm grateful for them. They have different tools than a nutritionist does. They don't get nutrition education unless they literally have to go out and get that themselves. They're not required to have nutrition education. They're given a lot of pharmacological classes. They have to understand the chemistry in the body and the physiology when it comes to what different prescriptions will do in the body, because they are trained to look for disease and then to give a pill for every ill. Every doctor is not like that, but for the majority, that is the basis of the education. And there are some amazing doctors popping up now that do more functional and all of that. All of this to say, your body needs so many things day to day that are so simple, but they are often missed for extremes, and we're hopping over things without even knowing the root cause, and we're approaching our health and our wellness as though they are these disjointed, disconnected things when you have one body. That data from your body is a direction. That those symptoms from your body are a direction. Your body is actually working for you. And as bad as you may seem and as bad as you may feel, if my house, God forbid, was on fire, I would hate to not have some sort of warning. I would hate to not have a fire alarm, and I would hate to not have a fire extinguisher, and I would hate to not know where my nearest fire department was. We want those things. We don't want to just dull symptoms. They are a blessing, believe it or not. I know they don't feel like it. It is a blessing to have a system that is saying, I need help, and is putting up their hand and raising an alarm and saying, help us, help us. We need help. So the answer isn't always to dull that, but the answer is that is the beginning of pointing us to answers. Your body is working for you, even though it may feel like your body is working against you. Trust me, it is working for you. It's just a matter of giving it what it needs so that it can get back in balance with the right foundations, and healing can happen, but it happens in stages. Health is built. It is not just had because we decide that we want to be healthy. It is built. And just like that house and that foundation, before the foundation is even laid for that slab, there's a little work that comes before that to make sure that we're even pouring the right amount of concrete and that we are leveling the field of our health, if you will, so that everything else built on top of it can function well. And the more we're laying a proper foundation, the more we're able to point to the things that are off balance. I hope this is helpful. Send this to someone who is like, where do I start in my health? What am I supposed to be doing? And they need encouragement, and they need to be reminded that God cares about their health and cares about their body. God cares about everything that He made, and you are no different. And stewarding our health will impact how we steward everything else. God didn't leave anything out. He gave us this vessel to carry out the work that He created us to do. Right? He has prepared. You are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works that He prepared ahead of time for you to walk in, for you to do. It's one of my favorite scriptures, Ephesians 2:10. He's already created the good work for you to do. God, who is infinite and knows everything and cares about you, cares about your health, because He understands that this vessel that He gave us carries out the very work that He created us to do. I hope this has been a blessing and encouragement to you. Share this with a friend who needs it. Share this with a family member who needs it. And if you are looking to work with someone, if you're like, you know what, I don't know where to start, I absolutely love helping people in this area. You can contact me, start the application process. It's free to do. And then we can get on a call after that to see if we would be a good fit. And you can go to styleandstewardship.com/APPLY to apply. And I would love to connect with you from there. You can also find YouTube videos if you're like, what can I grab from my local store? That's a good option for just some foundational health things. I love posting videos that I'm just going to the grocery store and I'm just sharing what I get, not because we eat perfectly, but because, sometimes we get in dinner ruts or just mealtime ruts and we want to support our bodies and nourish ourselves, you can go to my YouTube channel, and that's youtube.com/style and stewardship, or you can find the link in the description below. Until next time, your life matters. What you do with it matters. So what will you steward about?